Hey, what's happening, guys? What's going on? And thank you for tuning in to Rules for Rebels. So, got an interesting story for you guys today. Today's video is going to be about a corrections officer who kind of used his day job as a correctional officer and his knowledge of, I guess, the industry to create a product. And the product was an electronic cigarette or an e-cigarette that was safe, that couldn't be used to light fires, that couldn't be hammered down and turned into a weapon. And I guess it solved a lot of problems or a lot of pain points in his correctional facility. Now, if you guys watch Side Hustle Tuesdays, one thing that you've probably noticed, and that was the case in this last week's episode of Side Hustle Tuesdays, is a lot, not all of them, but a lot of the stories from Side Hustle Tuesdays, the idea for the product or the service or the business oftentimes was kind of spurred by somebody's day job, right? When you're working a day job, 5 days a week, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day, you get to know that industry really well and you start to see pain points and like this could be done better, or here's something in this industry that's lacking. And so oftentimes your day job or the industry that you work in can be kind of a great starting point or a great launch pad for starting ideas. And if you guys watched this past Tuesday's episode of Side Hustle Tuesdays, physical therapist realized that everybody deals with neck pain. The only way currently, before his invention, to kind of deal with neck pain was to see a physical therapist, to see a chiropractor, and use like a $2,000 machine to do that with, they call it cervical torsion or whatever they called it. And so he wanted to create something that was portable, easy to use, and affordable, that people could do the same thing at home. And so he created the neck hammock, and the neck hammock was excuse me, guys, I got the worst cold. The neck hammock is something you hang on a door or a railing and can kind of do the same, stretching of your neck that this $2,000 machine at a chiropractor or physical therapist's office can do. And so it's his day job that kind of spurred that business idea. And this is kind of another example of that. So I happened to see this video, a little short documentary on Vice the other day, titled "This Jailer Got Rich Selling eCigs to Inmates." And kind of funny why I stumbled across this. So my cell phone's all jacked up. My screen was cracked. My microphone stopped working. It didn't help when I was down in Aruba the other week. I got sand all in my phone, got water all in the phone. So anyhow, took it into Sprint to get repaired yesterday, and headed out for about an hour. When I go back to pick up my phone, as I'm standing in line waiting to pick it up, the store gets robbed. Like a million freaking cops show up. Had me standing outside the store for like 4 hours waiting to go back and get my phone. And after I went back in, the guy still hadn't even started working on it. So anyhow, I had a lot of time to kill yesterday. So I was sitting in my car with my laptop, and happened to stumble across this kind of Vice article. And it was about a jailer who, again, used his inside knowledge of working in jails and prisons to create a safe e-cigarette. And like I said, it solves a lot of the problems or a lot of the pain points that his industry faced. So back in the early 2000s to mid 2000s, when a lot of restaurants and pretty much most of the states went smoke free in workplaces, restaurants, public places, the jails went smoke free as well. Obviously, that would cause problems if you lock somebody up against their will and then you expose them to secondhand smoke. So jails got rid of nicotine and tobacco. Obviously, prison guards still smuggle it in. That's still a big industry. Obviously, inmates are stressed out, tobacco, nicotine. It's not a great thing, but it is one of the few kind of creature comforts that somebody used to have in jail. So and then also people going into jails oftentimes are coming down off of drugs and things like that. So having something like nicotine is a little bit of a cushion to make them a little bit more comfortable. The guy says it improves morale in the facility. You have less contraband. You don't have correctional officers smuggling tobacco in to sell to inmates. You don't have this whole underground industry. So it solves a lot of pain points. So I'm going to plug my headphones in so I can actually hear when to stop this clip. I'm going to play you guys a brief clip from this story, and I will link to it as well in the description box below, as well as on the community tab of my YouTube channel. YouTube, let me show you guys one other thing here. So if you go to my YouTube channel and click this community tab, I'm going to start using this a lot more, and I have been using it a lot more. Basically just, things that are too short to make a video about. Maybe I see another interesting video. Maybe there's an interesting article. Maybe I just have something I want to say. I'll post it in this community tab. If you guys missed this, I'd been meaning to do another book club. A lot of you guys had been requesting a book club as well. So the other day I made a post. You guys had suggested some different books we might read. I had made a survey so we could read 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, The Lean Startup by Eric Ries, The School of Greatness by Lewis Howes, and The 4-Hour Workweek Updated and Expanded by Tim Ferriss. Excuse me. So far, we got 21 votes. The 4-Hour Workweek is leading the way. I'll be honest, I was actually hoping for Outliers, but I've really been wanting to read every one of these books. The 4-Hour Workweek I've read a couple times, but it's been a few years. So I think more than likely it's going to be the 4-Hour Workweek. I'm going to let this survey run until the end of the day. Then I'll announce which book won. Again, more than likely it's going to be this one. For any of you guys who want to buy the book, obviously you can buy it on Amazon. If you want to go to the library, pretty much all libraries carry this. And I don't know if it'll be the updated and expanded version, but I know there are a few 4-Hour Workweek ebooks or audiobooks that have been uploaded to YouTube. So if you guys don't want to have to buy a book and just want to be able to listen to it, I'll also, once we start this whole book club thing, assuming 4-Hour Workweek wins out, I will link to where you can watch it on YouTube if you guys just want to listen to it for free instead. But if you still want to get in and vote, again, just visit the community tab of my YouTube channel, and I'll let this run till like the end of the afternoon. But let's watch this video clip here. Let me plug on in here.
The idea for a jail-specific e-cigarette came quickly. Figuring out how to make one that inmates couldn't use as a weapon took a little longer.
One of our main objectives when we started was to be able to do this.
Oh, wow.
Everything out there had a metal casing or was a very, very hard plastic casing that could be hammered down into a shank. We addressed that fairly easily, but we also wanted something with a very low voltage so that you couldn't utilize it for an ignition source to start a fire with. But we wanted something that was very...
You got to think of everything like that.
You do, and that's the big advantage, I guess, that I have. I live with 550 inmates every single day, and I understand their behavior.
Third floor. All right, anybody need eCigs today? Sir. Okay, so you're going to get the inmate's ID, make sure he is who he is, give him his ID back. Next thing you want to go do is you're going to check and make sure this is the one I sold him last time I came around.
These men in Mosley's jail are part of a specialized drug rehabilitation.
Okay, so again, I'll link that in the description box as well as on the community tab of the channel if you guys want to watch the full video. It's pretty interesting. Here's some of the features that this eCig has, and again, this is all pretty much insights from him working as a correctional officer. He realized that people make shanks out of things, so he had to find like a non-metal and not hard plastic case. They got tamper-proof tape so that they could see if somebody tried to get the ignition source out of the eCig. They have, as you just saw there's kind of an accounting system or an accountability in terms of these things being sold and then brought back in. So they have a barcode that they can be scanned in and out. So it was pretty much his insights as a jailer that kind of enabled him to make a product that would work for the prisons without causing any extra problems, and that prisons or jails would be okay with selling because it doesn't, cause any issues. And I didn't play this much of the video, but it's also a moneymaker for the jail. I believe Crossbar sells these to correctional institutions for $2 or $3. The institutions sell them for $10 to $15, so the institutions are making money. Most of the jails are profiting off this. I believe at his actual jail, for legal reasons, I believe all the money, all the profits go back into kind of improving the prison, and it all goes back to the prison. And I believe they got an electronic medical record system in the prison because of that, so it's doing good things for the jail. One thing I'd love to hear your guys' opinions about is I'm not a huge fan of like the prison industry being such like a for-profit industry. I'm not going to go on a big long tangent about it, but I personally think that like for anything besides nonviolent crimes or any victimless crime, nobody should go to jail for. You shouldn't be locking somebody up in a cage for a suspended driver's license or not paying a traffic ticket or being late on child support. All those aren't good things, but should we really be locking people up with cages and putting them around other prisoners and causing them to lose their jobs and their families to be disrupted over kind of trivial bullshit like the whole prison industry has become a for-profit, money-making industry. A lot of prisons are becoming private prisons, and it's all about making money. So it kind of rubs me the wrong way that this guy kind of has a captive audience and can sell them overpriced products. Ethically, that's a little bit like, but in terms of just like for the greater good, obviously inmates want their nicotine. It makes money for the prison. It improves morale. It helps with contraband issues. So in the grand scheme of things, it seems like it does more good than bad. But let's see. Jamie Mosley, the developer. Jamie began his criminal justice career as a Kentucky State Police Communications Specialist, where he served the agency for 13 years, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, basically he used his insights as a jail guard, as a prison guard, to create this product. And I just thought it was kind of interesting, especially on the heels of this past Side Hustle Tuesday episode, where the gentleman used his day job as kind of inspiration, or used that knowledge to come up with his product. Here's another example of this. So any of you guys, start, at your day job, start to see what are some things that customers look for that your business doesn't provide? What are some pain points that your industry faces? And oftentimes that, this can be a great jumping off point to find a business idea. So thought this was kind of an interesting story. Thought I'd share it with you guys. And again, if you want to watch the entire video for yourself, check out the description box below or the community tab of my channel. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button below, and we'll catch you on the next video. Later, guys.